What's up, everyone? Welcome to the show. My name is Josh Aarons, and today's episode is a little peculiar. Usually, I have a guest, and when I recorded this episode, I had a guest scheduled, and then I was under the impression that they were bailing on me. Now, turns out they were just a little late, and we ended up doing the interview, and it was all good. So, any shade that gets thrown today is just, sorry, my bad. It's all good now. But what did end up happening when I thought I was getting bailed on was I ended up recording this solo podcast, and rather than just letting it go to waste, I thought, why not put it out there in the ether? So today's guest is me, because I thought I got bailed on. In most of these interviews so far, I don't really let, I don't know how to put this, but like my own weirdness and quirkiness and silliness doesn't necessarily come through that much because I'm more concerned with, talking to the guest. But in this particular episode, there was no guest, so enjoy.
From Los Angeles, California, it's the ClubZero podcast with your host, Josh Aarons. Josh was once told he could do anything he set his mind to. He was also told to grow up and get a real job. Yet, here we are.
What's up, guys? I'm here. I'm waiting for my guest to hop on the chat, but they haven't responded to any messages. It is about time for us to start that podcast. So they agreed upon start time, and I think they are flaking out. But I'll give it a few minutes. In the meantime, I'll just solo cast a little bonus content. Now, this is what's driving me nuts about my podcast so far. I can see myself on my screen and I look crystal clear and beautiful. And then when I export that video, I'm always fuzzy and pixelated. So if anyone out there can help me get my video resolution better, I'm all ears, because the next solution I'm going to try is to just put a normal video camera up too, and then I'll have to pull the video from that, but then I'll have to do a lot more work in editing, syncing it all up and making the cuts. Oh, why can't anything just be easy? Well, my guest, we're not going to talk about my guests that I might have because they're not being very responsive. But I just did a podcast with another guest, which I guess, I don't know, maybe you've seen it already. Maybe this got put out before that got put out. Who knows? Maybe I'm just going solo right now. What am I talking about? Anyways, I just had a podcast with this actress Annie, who I know from back in the day, and that was a great podcast so far. She was a great guest, which definitely helped things go along. Not saying my other guests weren't great. Well, yeah, I am. They weren't. All my guests so far have been my friends, so they're all good and they're all cool. But when someone just knows how to keep that conversation going, my God, does it help? Oh, also, this might have helped a lot too. I actually prepared for Annie and had questions and stuff. So anytime I even started getting to be like, I just looked down and found something, and then we went from there, You know what I mean? I had what class was it? It was like a general media class where we did kind of news anchoring. Oh, it was about finding your on-air personality. That was the class, and it was a college class, so it was a real class. And my teacher, she always preached. She was really awesome. Why can't I remember her name right now? I feel like it was hard to pronounce. I'll look it up. But she was amazing, and she always preached the 3 P's, PPP, or the 4 P's. Yes. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. 5 P's. See, if I would have prepared, I would have known that it was 5 P's. And I didn't prepare, so then I had a poor performance. So you need to remember, proper planning prevents poor performance. Shadig. And right now, my soon-to-be non-guest, who will be unnamed, is probably not prepared. They probably forgot. Girl's always forgetting about me. I had some good questions for her, too. She is a musician, and she is a girl musician. Not that that completely narrows it down, but in my crew of friends, that might. I'm going to read some of her questions that I had for her. Okay. Let's see. Met you at a gig. Band name was, and then it changed to, I'm not going to say that either because then you'll know who it is. Or maybe you won't. You're like, I don't know who you think is important. What was the origin story of your band name? And then she'd be like, oh, well, it means blah, blah, blah. But now we'll never know. So, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to interview no one because she no-showed. All right. Question 2. This will narrow it down too. Oh, no, well, I'll frame it like this. Okay, so you know the context of these questions is a female musician in a rock band. So now you know the context of the questions. Okay. Where am I? I can't even read my own writing. Okay. I'm on by myself and I'm having awkward dead air. Get her together. Okay. Where's the question? Okay. Why is it important? And if so, oh, sorry. I fucked up. Maybe it's a good thing she no-showed because I'm fucking up these questions. Okay, question 2. Is it important? And if so, why is it important that people know that girls can fucking rock? And she'll be like, girl power. Sorry, that's a legit question. I'm only coming off as smug because I'm trying to amuse myself. But that was a legit question. It's written on a legal pad, therefore it is legal. What is the story of your first guitar? Every musician has a sentimental story. Oh, I was 10 years old. I was 12 years old and blah, blah. And like a hobo was always playing guitar on the street corner. And every day I put some of my lunch money in his bucket till one day that hobo said, you know what, little dude? I've had enough of this world. And this is the only thing of value I own. And if I'm not going to be around anymore, I need someone to carry on this legacy. And that hobo took off his guitar and he handed it to me. And as I reached my hand out, the clouds overhead parted and rays of sunshine hit us. And I swear I could hear the angels singing. Dun 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 dun. Fast forward to now, and I'm a rock star. That would be my story. It's not true though. All right, good first guitar. Great answer. Great answer. I'm glad you should. Oh wait, we got a message over here. No, we don't. It's a Facebook notification, and it is someone asking me to like their business page, and the answer is no. Yeah, I'm going to spam you with my shit. That doesn't mean I want to be spammed by yours. Double standard. Okay, anyways. Where'd my pillow go? I need to. Ow! Okay, there we go. Okay, moving on. I'm not in focus. Camera, focus, focus. Where am I? I'm here. Maybe that's part of the problems. This is how we get the camera to focus. Can you read these words, camera? It's like I feel like my face is fuzzy. Like why? Why is my face fuzzy? Come on, webcam. Yeah. I can use today as a day to one, I have to edit some old podcasts, and two, I got to figure out this situation because I can't keep coming at us with bad camera quality. See, I look good when I'm close up, at least right now in my preview. When I export this, it won't look good. And if I back up slowly, fast. These are my glasses. My glasses need to come off. I look like such an intellectual. All right. As an experiment, rest of the podcast, solo cast with my glasses off. And we'll see if the camera can focus on my face a little easier because sometimes glasses throw it off because they're like programmed to focus on faces. All right. Moving on with my thrilling interview with myself, with the questions that I had for someone else. Okay. First guitar. Oh, can you explain gig life to normal folks? Can you explain gig life to normal folks? Well, you know, most people, they think, oh, you're in a band and all they know of rock and roll is like what they see on TV and, you know, music videos. And that's like the highest of the highs. So they don't really realize that a real rock and roll has to get down in the nitty and gritty. And that means gigging every weekend, every week, multiple times a week. And so, you know, you got to drag your equipment in, and you'll probably have a drummer who's like bitching about how much stuff he has to drag in, and no one wants to help him, even though we can all carry our own equipment. It's not our fault that you have 5,000 pieces of equipment, Andy. But, you know, we gig, and sometimes it's a packed house. Sometimes it's only a few people. But no matter what, you got to give it your all, because if you don't give it your all, people are going to know that. And say it's only a crowd of 3 people, you don't give it your all, well, then that's 3 people who go home not giving a flying woo about who you or your band is. So you got to give your all so that at the end of the night, even if you're in front of those 3 people, now you got 3 more fans, and that's 3 more than you had when you came in. What was the question? Wow. Riveting stuff. All right. Once again, I want to thank you, my guest, for no showing. Okay. I mean, a lot of these questions I can actually answer because I used to be in a band. No big deal. All right. Craziest gig or craziest thing that... Okay, I didn't write this as a question. I think I say it like... So what's like the craziest thing? So what's the craziest gig you've had or craziest thing that's happened at a gig? Well, you know, it's hard to pick just one. Crazy stuff is happening all the time. Rock and roll. I was in a band. But one that sticks out, one that pops out in my mind is, and this is a true story because I was in a band. One time we were in Barstow because we were going to play at this like vacationers community, like out on a man-made lake for the residents there who are vacationing for like Labor Day or Memorial Day, like one of those weekend holidays that doesn't really count. But we were going out there to play there, and then on the way we booked another gig at like the one bar in town, and it was literally on Route 66. So I mean, I was the one who booked it, and I was like, oh, this will be cool. We're going to play at a legit biker bar. My bandmate Chris, I think he was kind of sketched out about it because he thought he was gonna get butt raped, but ended up being fine. So we go and we play in this gig. It's literally just like barren desert and then like a random building, and that's the bar. Anyways, we go play there, and as we're playing, this guy comes in and he is drunk, and he puts some money in our tip jar that we put out. I don't know whose idea it was to put out a tip jar, but he put some money in and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then some other people put some money in and we're like, oh, awesome. And then a little bit later, that same guy, that first guy, comes up a little more drunk, puts more money in the tip jar. Like, sweet. And as the night continued, he kept getting drunker and drunker and drunker, and he kept dropping money in our tip jar. I think he put in over $200 into the tip jar. And we're like, because by the end of the night, we're like, dude, is he gonna get mad and want his money back? So we thought, oh man, we're gonna have to fight this dude to keep our tips. But he ended up being really friendly. His name was Cowboy. So that's how you know. And he worked in construction and he was a resident of that area. And he thought we rocked. So he gave us lots of money. And he's probably dead now, but RIP Cowboy. I don't even think that was the craziest thing. That was just a funny thing. What was the craziest thing? I don't know. Like, we don't really have like, oh, I have a story about something that happened after a gig. That was crazy because I was gonna say, ooh, you know, we should save that for another podcast because I can have the person who was involved in that story on this podcast. And I know if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're like infuriated right now. Like, what are you talking about? Just tell us. Well, you know, if you like, comment, and subscribe, you might find out later. Okay. Next question. Thanks again for being on the podcast. Oh, just kidding. You no-showed. So I'm interviewing myself. Shade. Do I look like a palm tree right now? Because I'm throwing shade. All right. Anyway, next question. Okay, so this was going to be funny because this was going to be towards a girl, directed towards a female. Be honest, is groupies a thing? I think that's totally not how I talk when I talk to the actual guests. Be honest, is groupies a thing? And the answer is yes, sometimes. All right, you know, there's lots of colorful personalities in the music scene. What's the common thread, you know, between all these, you know, intricate, peculiar individuals that you come across in the rock and roll game? What do they all have in common? Well, I would say that there's mental illness across the board, because anyone who wants to get on a stage, whether it be, you know, like a musical stage or on camera, on the internet, and just parade themselves around like they think they're just the coolest shit, there definitely has to be some kind of mental illness involved, you know, diagnosed or undiagnosed. Maybe some past traumatic event which drove them to madness, you know, much like the Joker. Because yeah, normal people don't really do this shit. Normal people, you know, sell insurance or whatever, work in their cubicle, and there's just nothing wrong with that. But people like on the creative performance side of things, it really bores them. Because their brain is damaged and they just don't understand that being responsible and just taking care of your responsibilities is also a good way to go. And just like, they just short circuit, like, I can't be responsible, must seek attention. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Audio versions of the podcast are coming soon because I know not everyone wants to watch on YouTube, especially if I can't figure out how to make the camera look good. Jeez. But the audio is decent, so audio version's coming soon. I just haven't taken the time to figure that out yet. Anyway, sheesh. I'm all being cranky to like the one person who's actually watching. Thanks for watching. No, seriously, thank you. Okay. Colorful personalities. All right, a few more. All right. So you're in a guitar. Normally, the interviewing doesn't go this dry. I'm not just randomly just reading the questions because, like, I'll go off their answer and just kind of go with the conversation. But I'm here by myself. Why am I justifying? I am not the one who flaked out on my podcast. I am here. They are not. Therefore, I am interviewing someone who is actually interesting and here, which is me. All right, you're in a guitar store. You're testing out guitars. What's your go-to song? I'm just going to read these like a stupid radio guy. What's your go-to song? What do you play? What do you strum first? When you pick up a guitar and you're testing it for the first time, do you have any go-tos? Yeah, actually, I mean, I play bass because I'm not disciplined enough to learn chords. So bass is really easy. My go-to, the first thing I play is just this little blues lick I made for an old band back in the day, and it goes okay, you get the point. Oh, COVID. Shit. Okay. Get some water. That performance that you got for free, you know? Wow. Most people would have to at least pay for a drink at a bar or pay a $5 cover to hear that shit. I gotta get a refill. Okay. As stupid as it seems, the green screen is why I want to figure out how to make my camera look better with this setup. So it looks so good on my screen. But it's gonna look anyways. Also, the less work I have to do. Another common thread about creatives. Lazy as fuck. Anyways. Next question. We're almost done. Am I still... have I even been recording? Oh, I'm recording. Thank God. I would feel ridiculous if I wasn't recording this whole time. Okay. Groupies, common thread, guitar store. All right. Now this is the part of the interview where I get to the deeper, serious questions. So you get to a point where money is no longer an issue. You got all the money you would ever need and then some. What do you see your life looking like? I like how I'm stumbling over words when I'm by myself, but when I'm actually interviewing, fuck it. So you got all the money you need, and then some. Money is not an issue anymore. What are you doing with your life? I have to burp. That wasn't enough. All right. Let's have some coffee. Hey, guy at McDonald's, I ordered a vanilla iced coffee. I don't think there's any vanilla in this shit. It's just coffee and milk. Yeah. Thanks for my non-vanilla coffee. So what am I doing with my life if I don't have to worry about money? I mean, honestly, and this, believe it or not, I'd be doing the same shit I'm doing now, but probably just on a bigger, better scale because I'd have more resources to put into it. I would be making shit, and I'd be being creative. I'd be making stuff, videos, podcasts, music. Just always making stuff because that's what gets me going. That's what's making my brain stay sane, relatively speaking, during the quarantine times. Is I'm always finding something to make, and that whole mental process of starting with nothing, creating it, and then having an end product, that is keeping me sane. But anyways, I digress. Money wasn't an issue. I'd be making stuff. I'd be making short films. I'd be making vlogs. I'd be making podcasts, web shows. I would just be making stuff. Because I'm an artist, People don't know. They just go, that guy's weird. You know why I'm weird? Because I'm a fucking artist. So there you go. Here to hear first, folks. Did I put the where do I see myself in 5 years in this interview? I don't think I did. But where do I put that in the last interview? So I'll say it. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Corona. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I see myself on stage. Yeah, I see myself making stuff. So, okay. That's not like a different answer or anything. So that's boring. Thanks a lot. See what happens. Guest who doesn't show up, I end up embarrassing myself. You suck. Shade, because I'm a palm tree. All right, a little girl comes up to you after the gig. She wants to have a band of her own one day. What advice would you give her? I'd be like, go to fucking college. Oh. Okay, so obviously this is aimed at someone who is in a band, and I am no longer in a band. But if a little kid wanted advice on what to do on because they want to be in a band, I would say educate yourself in your instrument. Because I kind of lacked that a little bit because I'm lazy. Because ultimately your instrument is your tool, and the more things you can do with your tool, the more things you can create. So yeah, educate yourself in your instrument. Find people to jam with, even if they're not into the exact same music you are. Jam with as many people as you can. That's actually some of the most fun, is before you even get on stage, is just jamming with someone. You're like, I got this riff, can you put something to it? And you play it, and they're like, they play along. You're like, oh, that's cool. And you get into some kind of like mind connection where then all of a sudden you both just switch at the same time, and then like it works, and you're like, oh, that was awesome. So yeah, educate yourself in your instrument and play music with as many people as you can. And I mean, I could talk for hours on like the nitty gritty of getting your gigs, recording, promoting, and all that, but I'll save that for when I actually have a musician guest on the podcast. I guess I don't know if I qualify as a musician anymore, because I don't really currently practice music. But I mean, I listen to it, so I don't really know music, but I listen to it, so I kind of know music. All right, I think that's all the questions I had, and I have the game that I'm gonna start, that I played with one guest, and call it the Ricochet round, and I just have random questions, and they just say the first answer that pops to their mind. But I'm not gonna do that by myself. That's not fun. All right, well, I don't want to keep you much longer, but I do want to thank you for not showing up to our scheduled podcast. It was really great. I think we learned a lot. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote? People can find you. Oh! You can't because you're not here. What? But I would like to plug and promote. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Instagram. Those are our main outlets. Audio versions of the podcast are coming soon. They're going to come out first on SoundCloud, and then as I figure out how to get them to the normal podcast channels, they'll be available there. But at the time of this recording, I haven't figured that out yet. So if anyone knows how to do that, hey, hit me up. I'm trying to do it all for free. So if you know how to do it for free, hit me up. And don't say the Anchor app because I don't want to be on their channel on iTunes. So if you know how to do it for free, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to have to end up paying for this shit. It's a lot to pay for no one to listen. Oh, I'm just kidding. Why do I downplay myself? I do that, and I feel like a lot of people do that. Guys, don't downplay yourself. You know what? You're fucking awesome. Maybe only one person watched this all the way to the end. Maybe no one watched it to the end. But you know what? I'm fucking awesome, and you're fucking awesome. Everybody's got something that they bring to the table that no one else can bring to the table. So you know what? Whatever that something is, you fill your cup with it. And you yeet it out on everyone's face. Because the world needs more of your yeet on their face. All right, I still don't know how to end these things, so you can watch my vlogs on my personal channel. All right, just kidding. See you later. Next time you see me, I will have a guest.